Well, the word hacks in common usage refers to a clever tip, trick, or shortcut that can make a task easier or more efficient. For example, if you're playing a video game and some person shows you a hack to give you unlimited ammo or some super sweet weapon, that's a hack. Here's a question. Can you apply that word to relationships, as in hacking a marriage? I think you can. Now, not that any of us would say that living in a marriage with one person over a long haul is a piece of cake, but I think, yes, there are some little things that can certainly help you to have a more fulfilling and less troublesome marriage. Today, I want to share with you 5 hacks that I've picked up over the years and the dozen or so years that me and my wife have worked as marriage coaches. So welcome aboard to Finding Traction.
Ready?
When it comes to porn, are you stuck, spinning out, or slipping backwards in your life? If so, then welcome to the Finding Traction podcast, a show dedicated to those who are looking to gain recovery momentum away from porn and toward the life and relationships they have always hoped for. Now, here's your host, Vern Tomke.
Well, before we start, let me extend an invitation to join me on the evening of August 31st. I am going to be on a live Zoom call. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific or 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's a place for you to come and hang out, maybe ask some recovery questions. You can meet me, get some information on some of the resources that may be helpful for you in this coming fall so that you have a successful recovery the fall of 2025. So if you want information on the Zoom link, please email me at bandofbrothers.care@gmail.com. Once again, that's going to be last Sunday night of August 31st, a Zoom call. Any one of you are free to come and join us. I also just want to extend an invite to enjoy, well, you could enjoy it, but also join the Circle Learning platform. There's a whole bunch of free resources there, and the link for that is on the show notes where you can sign up if you want to just use your first initial or your last initial. Some of the guys do that. And there's also information there on some of the Finding Traction groups. We're going to be starting some new groups this fall. And it's a great time as summer is rapidly ending and as our kids or you head back to school or you're just thinking through about wanting to have a great fall, you can sign up for there or reach out to me at bandofbrothers.care@gmail.com. All right, let's get back or let's present some of the things that have been of help to me in my 39 plus years of marriage. These are 5 things that I call hacks. Here's the first one. Same team, same jersey. It's appropriate with football season starting. I know me and Mr. Dobschutz and a few others will be doing our annual football podcast here in a little while. But this is the idea that both you and your wife are wearing the same jersey. In our situation, it is, of course, Cowboy jerseys, not one wearing a Cowboys jersey and the other an Eagle jersey or a 49er jersey or a Packer jersey. What we're saying with this idea is we are on the same team. And it's a phrase that we remind ourselves of that over and over and over again. When we face a financial problem, we're on the same team. When we face an issue with one of our kids or all of our kids, we are on the same team. When we have to make a difficult decision, we are on the same team. When we have to deal with extended family and problems that arise from that, we are on the same team. So what does that mean? Well, it means a few things. It means that I am not going to make the other person the problem. That gives them a separate jersey. To be on the same team means that we are going to define the problem as something external to me and my partner. Switching my sports metaphor, the problem is the soccer ball. Me and my wife are on the same team with the same jersey, and the problem is an external soccer ball. Even if the problem involves one of us more than the other, we are on the same team wearing the same jersey. I mean, that may sound simple. That may even almost sound silly. But let me tell you, it makes a big difference to know and feel like you're on the same team with your partner. That's hack number one. Hack number two, I call it the 1 to 10 tool. Now, there are lots of things that me and my wife see differently on. And I know there's lots of things that you and your wives will see things differently. But let me say this, not all of them are on the same level of importance. Now, one of the tools that we learned early on in our marriage is to gauge how important a desire is to each one of us, especially if we don't agree. Here's an example. Early on in our marriage, my wife said to me, "Hey, I'd like to paint the bedroom. Do you like this color?" My answer was, not really. She did ask after all, and I have opinions about most anything if you know me at all, and that just didn't happen to be my favorite color. I actually didn't like the color. So she was disappointed and felt left down and said, well, I guess we're not going to paint the bedroom then. But after she learned this tool, she asked me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is the color of the bedroom to you? And I said, I don't know, maybe a 2. I mean, what goes on in the bedroom is a whole heck of a lot more important than the color of it, if you get my drift. So she said, fine, and went to the paint store and picked up the paint. My response, well, whatever, right? I mean, I want to keep my powder dry for what is an 8, 9, or 10 to me, not something that's a 2, or if it's a 2 to her. If it's a 2 to her, she'd say, well, that's not my thing, or I really wouldn't prefer that, but it's a 2, it's a 3 to me. Recently, we were having a financial discussion, and and she had been doing some work and some research on it. My wife loves to dive into topics, and she'd done a lot of work around, looking forward to our finances. And I said to her, hey, I met this financial planner, and I'd like to maybe go with him. He seems like a good guy. And I could tell that there was something wrong. Now, my wife had spent a lot of time watching videos with around a different guy in a different program, and had a lot of trust into what this guy could offer us as we look forward with our finances. So when we had this discussion, I was smart enough to ask her how important it was to her that we spend the money on this guy and go with the guy that she had been researching. And she said to me, a 9 or a 10. Oh, a 9 or a 10. So guess who we went with? We went with her guy, right? Because it was that important to her. I think also because it showed that I respected the fact that she had done the work and research around the topic. Now, I'm not giving you hopefully a backdoor way simply to call everything a 9 or a 10 so that you can try to trump every discussion. But I think that 1 to 10 tool can be an honest way to gauge what is worth creating a conflict over and what isn't. Now, talking about conflict, here is marriage hack number 3. And we're going to call this the ABCD method. And it may not be a surprise to you, but have you ever noticed that sometimes negative feelings crop up in your marriage? Fender benders crop up. There's things that happen, and now you're in a difficult place. You now have, or your partner now has, negative thoughts, emotions, feelings about something you did or something that went wrong. And there's a problem. There's something going on. Well, one thing you can do is just hold back expressing those negative thoughts, those negative feelings. As a peacemaker, number 9 on the Enneagram, if that means anything to you, I always have to be careful that that's not my default. Just hold back or not express negative feelings or thoughts. The other thing that happens sometimes when you're not expressing those is you can end up just sniping at the other person over time with just these passive aggressive ways to say you're not really in agreement or you're having negative feelings, but you don't really want to confront them or talk about them directly. Or you just hold on to them and then you explode with some version of, that's it, I've had it. All of those, I think most of us would say, are not healthy ways to express negative feelings or negative emotions. So the ABCD method is simply this. You just remember, this is how I do it. A, when A happened, that was a specific behavior or something specific that happened. A, when A happened. B, this is how I felt. You're owning your feelings. You're not blaming your partner. You're speaking for yourself. When A happened, B, this is how I felt. B. C, now this could be something that comes in, not always. C, because this is what I expected, or this is what we agreed on. And D, this is my request. And you be specific. So let's go over that again. A, when A happened, this specific behavior happened. B, this is how I felt. C, because this is what I expected or what we had talked about. And D, this is my request of you. Specific. That is just a very fuel rod way of not having a nuclear meltdown. The ABCD method. That's another hack for you. Okay, 2 more. This is the gratitude hack. And it's really not rocket science. Every day we choose gratitude for each other. If you regularly and daily choose gratitude for your marriage partner, it will color your entire marriage relationship in a positive way. This is one that me and my wife are actually changing because we're pretty good on gratitude in general. Every time supper comes along or whatever you call your last meal of the day, we always do this. What are you thankful for today? But we're really wanting to make it even more specific beyond that. What are you thankful for today? And what am I grateful for about you today? Maybe something you did or something about who you are or something about your character. And it really personalizes our gratefulness. If you do that, it truly will color your relationship. It will give you and grow your appreciation quotient in your marriage. Every day, marriage hack, gratefulness. And the last one is something that me and my wife have practiced for over 40 years because even though we've been married 39, we've gone out for a couple years before that. And this is the hack. I've expressed it before. Did I do anything to hurt you today? I learned this 40 years ago from the marriage author Gary Smalley. And it's something, again, we've practiced for something we learned from him. And it comes from his idea that our spirits are like doors. They can be all the way open, they can be partly opened, or they can be completely closed. Of course, in this metaphor, the idea is to have both of us to have an open spirit to our partners. But hurts and offenses cause the doors of our relationship and our spirits to close a little bit at a time. In a worst case scenario, the door closes, the latch clicks, and the door is now permanently locked. Our partner is not going to reopen the door even if you use C4 on it. The idea that he used to combat this is that each night we ask each other, did I do anything to hurt you? And if so, to apologize and to reaffirm your commitment to not walk in that particularly hurtful way towards your partner. You don't defend yourself. You don't explain yourself. You don't rationalize what you did. That only makes it worse. I'm sorry. I do not want to repeat that. I reaffirm my commitment to walk in a non-hurtful way towards you. Now, this is not that we agree about everything. There are things that we still disagree on. Me and my wife are both, well, she especially, is a smart individual who doesn't always see every issue and the world around me in the same way. I mean, I'm working on her, but that's just the way it is. This is about hurts, offenses, wounds. So let's just go back over those 5 marriage hacks. First marriage hack is same team, same jersey. Second hack, the 1 to 10 rule. Third hack, the A, B, C, D method of expressing negative emotions. 4, the gratitude hack. And finally, the 5th hack of, did I do anything to hurt you today? Let me encourage you that maybe this is a podcast that you may want to share with your wife. I also encourage you, if you haven't listened to some of my earlier podcasts, I do obviously talk mostly about recovery, but relationships are really important to me as well. And you can go back and listen to a couple of earlier podcasts I did where I give other tools to help you and your partner. In particular, episodes 39 and 40 are called Tool Time for Relationships, Part 1 and Part 2. We'll see you next time.